Gutsche is senior lecturer at Lancaster University and author of The Trump Presidency, Journalism and Democracy. He joins us now. Thanks so much for being with us. First, I just want to get your response to Trump's tweet there and how he describes the Antifa organization versus white supremacists.
I mean, this is just scapegoat 101. Confuse everybody and just don't take any blame and keep pushing the blame off onto mythical creatures. If you think that the Trump presidency can't get any more bizarre, it just continues to. Look, what we're seeing right now in the United States is a response to structural racism times 10. People have begged and pleaded and cried, asked nicely for Black people to stop being shot and killed by white police officers, and it hasn't happened. The Second Amendment, which is kind of a bit of a perverted right to bear arms, it's one that's been taken a little bit too far in terms of everybody having the right to have some sort of crazy assault rifle, actually is intended for citizens to bear arms in case the government comes for them.
Right,
and
fight the authorities.
We have centuries of authorities coming for Black Americans. There should be some right to protect themselves. This isn't calling for violence. This is calling for a sense of logic. And GOP, the Republicans wanting a strong Second Amendment. Well, this is the Second Amendment where people need to defend themselves against the United States government and militarized local police forces.
Okay, interesting perspective. I want to ask you, though, about specifically the Antifa protesters. First of all, who are they? And I'm not talking about the organization. I mean, who are these individuals? You get the feeling that some of them are just young kids who want to say they're standing for something, but might actually have a chip on their shoulder instead and end up discrediting an otherwise worthy cause.
Well, it is a far left mindset. It's hard to call it an organization. There isn't necessarily a hierarchy. It's almost like Anonymous that came out on the internet years ago, a group of people who tend to believe similar ideologies, in this case, that the structure of the United States isn't working and it's a failed democracy, and steps need to be taken to make it right. But because it's not seen as an actual organization with a hierarchy and somebody who stands up and says, I am this organization and I have a patch on my shoulder, it is seen with fear. And it is confused a lot with anarchy and confused a lot with people who just want to see chaos reign. This moment of trying to interpret this organization has to be done very carefully. This is being done in a very emotional time where there are lots of realities happening, but a lot of emotions running high, and a lot of people trying to shift the blame to other places. Do we need a radical left? Well, as long as there's a radical right, it does seem that there's going to be a rise on the other polar side. This isn't going well, and Donald Trump's rhetoric is not helping calm any fears or any concerns going forward.
But I mean, he is insisting on designating the Antifa movement or organization, as he calls it, a terrorist organization. How is that even possible, knowing that it is not a fully organized group? And why not just legally ban that group because of its, violent or destabilizing behavior?
Well, we may get to that point, but what this is happening right now by putting them on some sort of list is allowing law enforcement to say, well, I suspect this person of being part of this organization. They're operating under certain behaviors. They're saying certain things. They look a certain way. They're dressed a certain way, and it's really opening up the floodgates for law enforcement to legitimately, in their way, penalize even the average protester if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. There could be further steps, but it is very difficult when you don't have an actual organization that has a meeting place, that has a website with a person who owns the domain to go and take them out. But this isn't about actually getting rid of any organization. This is about trying to use more and more power to spread that over to more and more people, and bringing in people that they suspect of doing something wrong.
Okay, that designation would be a very slippery slope. Okay, Robert Gutsche, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.